and welcome to my kitchen, and we're making breakfast today. You know, I watched a video this morning, it's Sunday morning, and one of the people that I follow, his name is Eatallthebirds, and I believe he lives in Phoenix, and he, a few days ago, put up a video showing his attempt at making some biscuits in his Dutch oven. He's really into Dutch oven cooking, and he cooks with his kids. His channel is really a lot of fun. And I'm going to put a link down below so you can go check him out. His name is Eatallthebirds. And in that video where he did the biscuits in his Dutch oven and he was disappointed, he says the biscuit battles kicked his butt a couple of times. And he asked for help. So I gave him a little help, and I told him I have a biscuit video, go watch it. And this morning he had a video up there showing how he made his biscuits in his Dutch oven using suggestions from my recipe. And I'm so pleased that his biscuits came out good for him. And then it occurred to me that I'd never done a biscuits and gravy video. Well, I went ahead and I made my biscuits already, but I'm making my gravy. So, you know, biscuits and gravy is a lot of things to a lot of people. Some people it's just plain white gravy over biscuits. Some people it's sausage gravy and biscuits, and that's what we're making today is sausage gravy. So this is how we start out. I'm just going to show you that I started out with 1 pound of bulk sausage. Any brand, it doesn't matter. I try to choose a brand that's fairly good. I like this one. I like the way it tastes, but we're going to add quite a bit of extras to it. And I've been rendering this down. I like to get it a bit brown. And then also, you'll notice there's not a lot of fat in here. I mean, really, this is my new skillet, so I'm breaking it in. And I've had a couple of people PM me and leave comments on the harvest skillet recipe where I showed this skillet that I got really cheap at Tractor Supply because it was on the clearance rack of all places. Why is a cast iron skillet on the clearance rack? I have no idea. Because it's not just something, I can tell you, cast iron cookware is not a seasonal item.
And it was a Lodge at that.
And it was a Lodge brand at that. So anyway, we're breaking it in. When you get a new piece of cast iron, I always think it's a good idea to either render off some bacon or sausage in it just so you get a good start. You're going to buy a seasoned pan anyway, but you want to get a good start to that non-stickiness. Because this is the original non-stick cookware. So you're going to want to maintain that by every now and then, you know, you're going to use it for all kinds of things, but every now and then you're going to want to cook something in it that renders out a lot of fat. So I like to get this sausage just a bit brown. And then you'll, like I said, there's not a lot of fat in here. So at some point, we're going to need to make a roux. And you're going to have to add fat to the pan in order to do that. So you have your choice. You can use butter, you can use vegetable oil, you can use lard, you can use bacon fat, which is what I am going to use, is bacon fat that I have kept in my refrigerator from the last time I cooked off some bacon. And Molly is just going to have to suffer because Molly thinks it's disgusting that I use bacon fat.
It wasn't just the eye roll, it was the whole head roll.
Yep. We're not going to use that much. We use about that much, and that's it. Plus, this adds a nice smoky flavor back to the dish. So, about a tablespoon is all I put in there. Molly can have cereal for breakfast.
I like cereal.
What?
I like cereal.
Well, that stuff's for you.
Because you go hungry.
I love 15. And I knew she was standing there just so she could watch and see if I put bacon fat in this pan.
We usually have to do it without her knowing.
Yeah, but she was standing behind me and I had no choice. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add some flour. And I'm going to get my flour. I'm going to start off with a 1/4 cup. We're probably going to end up doing a 1/2 cup. But let's see. Just sprinkle the flour right over. And get it in there. and get it cooking with all that nice fat. You cannot make gravy without fat of some sort. I mean, you can make like gravy for your chicken or your roast beef, but it's always a little bit better. You have to make a roux for this white gravy, and it starts with the fat that you've rendered from your sausage or your bacon fat. Now that's not enough flour, so I'm going to get another 1/4 cup, and I'm going to sprinkle it over, and that's probably all we're going to need. I can already tell that's just right. Now you'll be able to see it's getting much thicker, and you want that flour to coat the pieces of sausage in there so that when we pour the milk in, it's going to thicken nicely and become smooth and silky. Now, really?
Scotty.
Oh, Scotty. All right, I'm gonna just grab a whisk. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And I'm gonna add a 1/4 of milk. And I have some Gosner milk here that I need to use up, so I'm gonna use that. And I'm just gonna start pouring it in. So this is about, you know, the fat from the sausage plus about a tablespoon of bacon fat and a 1/2 cup of flour and 4 cups of milk. Quart is 4 cups. And we're going to stir and stir and stir gently. And the reason I'm using the whisk is so I can get anything up off the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to switch back to my spoon. I like to keep them both at hand because I might switch back and forth. Now, this is where my gravy gets a little bit different from the others. We're going to just continue to stir this until it gets nice and thick. And if at some point it isn't thick enough, then we're going to add a little bit of Wonder to the pan and we'll thicken it up to our desired consistency. This is not rocket science, folks. It's cooking. There's very little that you can mess up that you can't fix. White gravy is definitely not a mystery. White gravy is about as simple as it gets. It's pure country food. It's peasant food. It's, you know, this is what people during the Civil War threw together and ate on a regular basis. You know what? You could consider this a precursor to chip beef on toast or whatever. It's just made with sausage. I am so sorry. Scotty is being so noisy.
Scotty, do you want a biscuit?
Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants a biscuit. There's my biscuits. They've just come out of the oven not 10 minutes ago. I can already start to feel this getting thicker. And you're going to see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a little white like floaties in here. And that's actually from the milk because that Gosner milk tends to settle a little. I shook it up before I poured it in here, but sometimes that happens. I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell just from feeling it and stirring it that it's starting to thicken. Mm-hmm. Now I have this over medium heat. I didn't change the heat after I stopped browning the meat. I just kept it at the same heat level. So it's on medium heat. And I tend to like my gravy a medium thickness. Now, usually what happens is it gets really thick and then I add a little more liquid to the pan to get the consistency that I want. And what I'll usually do is, if I have it on hand, I'll just put a glug or two of heavy cream in here, and like it didn't need to be rich enough already, right? But sometimes we'll see how this ends up. It just depends.
You figure this is what they eat in the morning before they want to work the fields.
That's right. I mean, this is definitely
some hard physical labor.
Chuck wagon cowboy food, and in an SHTF situation especially, you're going to want to have foods on your menu plan that have a high calorie content because we're going to be working hard. You know, I was just talking to Rick the other day, yesterday in fact, in the car, and saying, I wonder if some people realize how much we're going to actually be cleaning things.
No, they did.
Oh, I'm getting this stuff on the stove that I spilled. how much we're actually going to be cleaning when we have no power or we have no access to running water, God forbid.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. But, you know, that's all work. And we're going to have to take time to maintain the things that we do have that do work. And we're going to be having to figure out things to do to replace the things that we can't use because we have no power or whatever. Now I'm going to turn the heat down.
You need to spill some more for Sammy.
I need to spill some more for Sammy.
And then Sophie.
Okay. Now you can see how thick this is. It's really thick.
Perfect.
I think it's a little thick.
I think it's perfect.
Rick thinks it's perfect. Well, we'll just leave it there. And this skillet was actually probably a little too small, but that's all right. Now I'm going to season it, okay? I always season. I'm going to use about a teaspoon each. Onion powder. Like I said, this is where mine differs. Garlic powder, because you can't have anything without garlic in it. Okay, this really does make all the difference. Poultry seasoning, and I know that may seem a little odd, but poultry seasoning is like my secret ingredient in white gravy. It really makes it flavorful. It enhances the sage that they've probably already put in the sausage. And then about a half a teaspoon of red pepper flake. And now I'm going to use my whisk and I'm going to get that all in there. And the only other thing that I am going to add is some butcher cut black pepper, because I don't believe you can have a white gravy without lots of black pepper. That's my favorite part. And you know, when you go to the store, you can get mixes or little envelope packets for white gravy. You don't need them. All you need is sausage, flour, milk. That's how you make white gravy. And if you're going to be buying the sausage anyway, you know, you don't need that little packet because it's got a lot of ingredients in it that you don't need to be eating.
You can thin that a tad if you want to.
What?
You can thin it a tad if you want to.
Yeah, I think I am going to thin it just a little bit. Let me grab some cream. And you don't have to use cream. You can use milk. You can use whatever it is you like. You could even thin this with some chicken stock. It wouldn't matter. A couple tablespoons, maybe a quarter cup. It's up to you. The one thing I do know is that when I make this for breakfast on a Sunday morning, I'm usually good till dinner. I usually don't eat lunch anyway, but on the weekends, that is perfect. Sometimes being just on the heat, even on the low heat, it gets really thick really fast. So there we go. All right, so you know what happens next. We fix you a plate. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Yeah, I'm going to use a pasta bowl. All right. Now, let's pick a good biscuit. I like this one. And we'll break it in half. And some people enjoy leaving them whole. It doesn't matter. It's your personal preference. I like to break them in half. And I need a ladle. I'm sorry, I just keep getting in the way.
Well, they probably shouldn't be standing this close.
You think? And that's what we call breakfast. Biscuits and gravy. A sometimes food for all those people who go, I can't believe you eat that all the time. I don't eat that all the time. When's the last time we had it?
I think my birthday.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. Okay, so let's bring it over here. Get you a good shot of that. It smells so good. And then you can top that off if you like with a fried egg or some scrambled eggs on the side. It doesn't matter. You can just eat this for breakfast. It's full of protein and it's yummy. So that's how I make sausage gravy for biscuits and gravy. I hope you try it. I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.
Now it's time to watch Sunday morning.